Thanks for staying with us. Now, exporters are always faced with the challenges of dealing with international buyers. Many businessmen and women often prefer to engage in local businesses where their money can be tracked easily. The business of exportation in Nigeria requires comprehensive knowledge of how the modalities work. As an exporter, you need to acquire basic skills in the policies, workflow, and dynamism of the international exportation business. Now, do you think investing more in exportation would improve the economy of Nigeria? Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. All right, so Manny and welcome, Jennifer. Thank you. She went to party and got stuck on the mainland. How was the drive here, though?
It was fine.
Really?
Traffic. I'm tired.
Oh. All right, so quickly, because we've run out of time. Okay. What do you think, in terms of export? Is this something that you think we are paying attention to in Nigeria?
No. I don't think so, because if we were really paying attention to our exportation, economy of business, we would have by this time grown our foreign exchange reserve.
Yeah.
So right now, CBN tells us that foreign exchange reserve is down. There's nothing there. So that's just the first evidence, that we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. If we were doing what we're supposed to be doing, we would create job opportunities for people across the nation. So it's just very obvious, and it's really sad because we're a country that is blessed, a country like Nigeria that is really blessed with agricultural products.
There's too many things.
There's so many things.
Mineral
We're not even talking
resources,
about mineral resources, crude oil, and everything, and we are not taking advantage of it. Then we'll now look at our manufacturing sector as well. If we're producing so much, how about manufacturing? So I just think it's up and down. We're not serious yet.
How about you, Jennifer? What do you think?
I agree with what Manny said. To be honest, I don't know so much about exportation and importation. Basically, everything I know is from probably what I've seen online and what people have talked about. But I'm here to learn from you and get more insights.
Yeah. All right, so Bamidele Aye Mibo is the lead consultant at 3T Impex Trade Academy. The Export King, as he is fondly called, is a trade consultant with numerous trade certificates. He's the first certified specialist in demand guarantee in Nigeria and among the first 10 in Africa. He holds a master's in international business with law from Salford University, Manchester, United Kingdom, and also holds a PhD in international business and marketing with the Leeds University, Hawaii, United States of America. He's conceived, designed, and facilitates the training of the first export diploma program and 6 straight professional development programs in Africa in conjunction with the American Institute of Extended Studies. You see that we have the best. And he's joined us live in studio. Thank you so much for joining us.
How are you?
How was your drive down?
Yeah.
It was good.
Yes.
As I've seen you, I'm just seeing dollars. And I'm so excited about it. Because for the longest of time, I have always wanted to have this conversation and see how we can start to awaken this spirit of, pushing out what we have to the world. To better our economy. Yesterday we talked about how Nigerians are so quick to always we're an import-dependent country. We want to buy everything, want to wear everything foreign, so we're not even looking at opportunities. See, I don't have a problem with us liking imported things and foreign things. But if we are also measuring that up with how much we're earning from what we also push out to the world, we'll have a bit of balance, when it comes to the economic challenges that we're facing. So maybe we should start from export as it is, What do you think the export segment or sector of our economy, what do you think is happening there? Are we really paying enough attention there?
I told you when we met, the first question I ask is, why are you interested in talking about export?
To make money.
Yeah. Now, and I told you that I've been on different TV stations, and most of the time it's interview around the government policy, what do you think, how do we go about it? Not really talking about how do you really, yes. And I was saying that where we are today as a country, this should be one of the leading conversations considering the challenge we are faced with. All of us are feeling the pain.
Yeah.
Most of the things you are buying the last 2-3 years, the price has gone up because they are imported, and the people are buying dollar at a very expensive rate. And basically because we are not having enough export proceed. So now let me put it in perspective. If you look at a country like the UK, export earning is over 400 billion.
Hey, what?
Now that's about 70 million
Pounds.
people. Dollars.
Okay, dollars.
That's about 70 million people. Now look at Nigeria. No, look at Nigeria. Nigeria 2019 did about $62.5 billion total. Now, of which oil is, of course, 85%. Now, the whole of Africa is not enough to 500 billion.
Wow.
The whole of Africa.
UK is at 70 million people is doing
Yes.
400 million.
400 billion.
Sorry.
So now the world trade in goods is about $18 trillion. The whole of Africa is doing 2.6% of that.
Wow.
The whole of Africa, the whole, as in 1.3 billion people. Now, by the way, Africa is exporting now. Only that we are not exporting high-valued goods. We are exporting commodities. So look at this. If I want to export, if you look at the total market size of cocoa in the world, total market size is about $9 billion. Let's say $10 billion. The market size of chocolate alone is about $30 billion. So who is making money? Who is making money? The man doing commodities or the man doing value
And by
add?
commodities, you mean the raw cocoa,
Primary.
as opposed
Primary.
to exporting the chocolate.
Yeah, so I'm saying I'm trying to illustrate the fact that Africa is doing a lot of export, but in terms of earnings, it's not so much.
It's not reflected.
It's not, because we're not adding value to it. And of course, there are a lot of issues around that, which we'll talk about along the line. So I'm just saying that, so for me, it's commendable that you're thinking about it. I think it should be a major discussion for sensitization.
Yeah.
Now, are you aware of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement? Are you aware of Africa? No, I'm just asking. Now, you're aware, right?
I'm aware because I'm a lawyer. But I
Oh,
know
brilliant,
that you are
brilliant,
not aware.
brilliant. Now, the reason I ask is because this is an agreement that should help Africa to really be able to trade among itself. So, the EU is doing more than about 30% of that $18 trillion, the EU. But about 70% is intra-EU trade. Africa, I told you, is doing about 2.6%.
Yeah.
Only 16-17% is African trade. So the free trade agreement, which I mentioned, is supposed to help for us to be able to
even
trade.
African
There's so
countries,
much within Africa.
What's the potential within that African country? The
Now,
export?
Yeah.
if you look at within African countries, first of all, they are largely lower middle income and low income countries. That means an average person is earning $1,000 per annum for low income and about $4,000 for lower middle. Now, that means an average person is actually living for survival.
Yeah.
So, is thinking more of basic necessities of life. So, things that will sell in Africa, which we already selling anyway, only that most of the people doing them are foreigners.
So they come here and
They produce to export.
And then they export. Yeah.
So, what we sell in Africa most is what we need for survival. The things we bought during COVID, when everybody was on lockdown, it was all about survival: what to eat, what to drink, personal care products, retail, FMCG products generally are the one that we sell. And there's huge market in Africa for those products because 1.3 billion people market. So we really, just like all of us agree, we really have not taken export seriously as a nation.
So
We are doing, yes, go ahead.
yeah, so what are these high value commodities or
No, I
these
mean
high
value added.
So what are these value added things that
Think
are
of-
supposed to be exported from Africa?
This one of them, this glass, this one of them, this phone, processed food is one of them. I mean things that
Processed
you have
food.
added value to. So that means it's not in the
It's
primary
not in the raw
state,
state.
it's either in the secondary or preferably tertiary state. Because the more you add value, the more the price. That's why I give you that example of the people making money. The 75% of cocoa production
Comes
in
from Africa.
West Africa,
Yeah,
West
but-
Africa, West Africa. But the people making money are in the Netherlands.
The issue we have with
Manufacturing.
manufacturing.
What's the
It's manufacturing.
Yes, what's the challenge? right?
Because you said you said either in the secondary stage or tertiary stage. So I was about to ask, what are these things that
If
we
I gave
manufacture?
if I gave you chocolate
Yeah.
that was manufactured here, will you eat it?
I will eat it, yes.
It's because you are an export person.
I'm eating Nigerian chocolate.
You know the interesting thing, that's the challenge. You know, the interesting thing is there are a lot of things happening in Nigeria. Only that this country is very big. So when someone is doing something amazing, you don't get to know about it.
Yes, you're right.
Just go into Spar or any of the supermarket and check out the snack. And just turn the back and see. Sometimes when you see the design, you won't know it's Nigerian to look at the back. You won't know. I think because a lot of the supermarkets are springing up and they are placing demand on quality, we are responding to it.
I like that.
We are responding to it. Because at some point, when ShopRite came in, I understand they were bringing something from South Africa.
Of course, the government had to tell them that.
So they had to now.
Must be local.
So we are responding to it. For me, I've seen, of course, a number of products with issues, but I've seen fantastic products that sometimes I wonder, you wouldn't know if this is made in Nigeria. So we're doing a lot. Only that is so small. So here is what I'm thinking we should be looking at.
Yeah.
Those people producing those things, most of them have challenge with financing. So, but they might not be equipped enough for the bank to consider them because maybe they're small, for a lot of issues. But you and I can work with them. And here is it.
So
that means you can actually export without necessarily owning a product. So I export pap, I export beans flour, I export granite, I export kuli, granite cake,
Interesting.
Now, I don't own any of those brands. I'm just a merchant. So you can be a merchant.
There's a whole value chain actually.
Exactly. So you can actually get them to produce for you in your brand. And NAFDAC have arrangement for that, to have your own NAFDAC number and someone producing for you. They have arrangement for that.
Do you get a handsome reward for this?
For what's that?
All the things you are helping to export. So
the
return rate like?
No, if you're doing value-added manufactured good, it will always be good because the raw materials are from here. That's where I'm emphasizing. That's why I'm not, in as much as I'm not against the commodity export, but I really don't think we should be pushing it. I really don't, because
we're not making that.
Someone made a statement. He said, when you export commodity, you export job and import poverty. And I completely agree with it.
Sorry, come again.
When you export
commodity,
you are
exporting jobs and importing poverty.
Wow. That's so profound.
Because you actually export job to the country that add value, and when you import and use our forest, you import, then you impoverish the country.
Okay, so what's the solution? Because aside from the government coming in to help the people that need to,
I'm not even talking about the government because
I don't even want to talk about government, but how about the people that actually have products or produce or whatever to export, but I hear about the congestion.
There are challenges. Now, the way I like to think is there are challenges. So what I ask myself is, are there people that are able to do it in spite of the challenges? Because you really cannot wait for government. While we put pressure on government for government to do what they have to do, there are foreigners in Nigeria. When they came into this country, they were not looking for Buhari to help them to do anything.
Yeah, but you forget something. They came with money.
Sometimes
they came with money.
I'm not disputing it. I'm not disputing it, but I'm not disputing the fact that they came with money. But the challenge in question, you can summon. Let me give you an example. When the port was congested, people were using barge, and I use barge also. That means I take it to a jetty, put the container on a small vessel, and it will move into the port. Because now you have to now ask yourself, do you want to keep the good waiting till your turn to enter? How much are you losing doing that? Or you want to spend a little bit extra and move through the waters? And the interesting thing about this challenge is that it has created other businesses. So people now just work with batch. I was in the government, Nigerian Bank had a program in Ondo State the other time, so I was there on the panel to speak, and a particular farmer was talking about what they did with the Ondo State government to use a navy jetty to be moving stuff by water. Those waterways have been there, we've not been using it, to move to Lagos and avoid the delay. So it's getting us to be more creative. What I'm basically saying is that these are challenges, but there are ways around it, and people are finding ways around it. And if we are doing value-added manufactured goods, we also will be less concerned about, you remember the story about Nigeria? Did you hear the story?
No.
No, when Audugbe was the minister, that we celebrated export of yam and the yam had issued in the US.
Yes.
Are you
Oh yes, no, like they were all rotten.
You are joking.
So when you put yam in container and there is sun and there is traffic, it will cook.
So we exported cooked yam.
It will cook. So one of the say is that that's a challenge, because now we have challenges. So we've not really matured well enough to be able to do a lot of perishables. If it's not going by air, it's not wise. If you get to NACO at the airport Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you see a lot of people exporting vegetables and a lot of perishables.
Yeah.
That's better. So, but going by sea is because you can use a refrigerated container to keep it at the optimum in transit, but before it gets there also. That's what happens. Yes.
Another issue with what you just said now, trying to export these products by air is the increase in the cost of the overhead cost.
Okay, let me give you an example. So I told you I export pap, right? And I ship by air for 2 years before I started shipping by sea. By air for 2 years before I started shipping by sea. You are shipping to a high income country.
So they can.
It's like someone that wants it offered in the US, in the UK, in the US. You must be ready to pay for it.
Yeah.
So if you want to take pap during winter, and they're willing to
They are
pay.
buying £10 a year.
No, it's actually about £3, £3.50.
There's
And
not.
For somebody who buy 50 naira. You know what? Let's take a break. I would like for us to discuss how we can probably come together and make that manufacturing sector a lot better, where we are able to now push more of tertiary products as opposed to the raw state. But let's come back from the break. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, we are having an amazing chat with Bamidele Aye Mibo on export opportunities and the challenges in Nigeria. Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp 081-803-84663. So this conversation is so interesting. It's actually sweeting my belly, because I know that there's so much opportunities in the export sector, but I didn't understand this much, because the people that I know that are into export, they currently export like raw products. So for instance, Zobo leaves, they export sesame seeds, of course. I mean, the day I went to UK, I saw my sesame seed ready. In case you don't know the local.
Let me. Have you finished?
No.
I want to say something about that.
When I saw it, I saw price. I said, Jesus. And I bought it.
Oh, you bought it?
Oh, yes, I did.
And that's what he was
Because I actually love sesame seed.
Okay.
And I bought it. I was saying, God, this money that I used to buy this tiny thing, I would have bought plenty.
In what form?
It was already processed, packed nicely.
In white, just like that.
In a sachet.
Now, what I wanted to talk about was that sesame. I bought one on the street of London. I saw at the back, made in Poland. I know Poland. Sesame biscuit. It was processed into biscuit, so it was a biscuit.
Yes.
I saw at the back, made in Poland, and I know Poland does not produce sesame seed. They buy from Africa. But that's what happens when you don't add value. You go into oblivion. Nobody know the source of that raw material. They only know that there's not made in Poland. Nobody talked about where the raw material is coming from.
Of course.
And that's the person that made the money.
Absolutely.
Or the person now that packaged into small container or small sachet, that the one you bought.
Yeah.
Those are the things I think we should be doing.
Maybe I should start looking at the made in place, because I didn't check the made in. Because now that I'm
check the bag, you see they might just clean and package.
Well, I was going to say that. So I have also seen now in Nigeria, when I came to Nigeria in Lagos, I've seen so many level of improvements.
Yes.
So the kulikuli you talked about, because I grew up, I was born and bred in the north. I grew up there, so I see all these things. IRD, all these things. They were all, you tie it inside nylon, you buy it. But when I got to Lagos, the same kilishi, they will put it in a nicely packed whatever.
Yeah.
They ready. Now I buy sesame seeds from a supermarket nearby. Nice in biscuits, four biscuits in one, 200 naira. Nice. But this same ready would have been cheaper in the north. But I'm saying that Lagos, to some extent, have given that level of advancement, that boost. So how can we, get together to aggregate these people that are already doing it? See, corn sticks. What do they call it? Kokoro. There's do you know that anytime my sister is anybody's going to France, I have
You
to
have
buy
to
a
send.
bag of cocoa. Because the children cannot do without cocoa. The same thing with a particular
But
chin-chin.
that's an export opportunity for you.
That's what I'm saying. The same thing with a particular chin-chin that my mom buys from us, from the north for us. Very nice chin-chin. In fact, the last time her son's classmates, the parents was asking, please, where did they get that thing from? Because the daughter will not let them rest. So these are things that we already know that if we export these things, there are opportunities for us to. So how do we start to think? Not just saying, okay, we are making this thing is nice. How do we now say we want to put
How
it
do we
in
think
other
business?
Yes. How do you
we
think
put it in
business
the
and how do we start taking a commercial level
Yeah.
to take outside of the country to bring forex in?
Now, the fact that any product that buyers abroad are already indicating interest in, either Nigerian or non-Nigerian, are product are already well positioned for export. So that's why I said that's an export opportunity right there. It's for you now to look beyond just buying for your sister and say, okay, how do we work together to make this a business?
Yeah.
So that she can actually distribute. So let me tell you how this can work.
Okay.
So let's say it's in France and there are no people that are probably interested in this. You can move, that product can be branded for you.
Okay.
And shipped to her, and she can put it in her garage. And you can put it online. And people can place order. You advertise using social media marketing, and people can place order, and your sister can deliver to them in France. But it's been shipped there already, and now being advertised online. And people are placing, over time, you don't advertisement again. People are just going to be placing order, and then it can be delivered to them.
So how do you now say, you now move it to the next level where you begin to penetrate supermarkets, like, have agreements, trade agreements with probably like a Walmart and all of that? How do you move that?
So you now have to go a step further to have certification. So I strongly recommend, even in as much as UK will not ask you for NAFDAC, do it before you ship. Because that's the only way at the lowest level, at least you have an idea that your product is of right quality. So you should be able to know this thing is. It's not based on your judgment, it's based on what the lab said. So having NAFDAC for me is extremely important. In as much as they won't ask for it, they will do theirs over there.
Yes, because you can also start selling here as well.
Exactly. So certification become extremely important. Some factory have HACCP, Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point, for food production, to be able to ensure that the quality it can be trusted. Having that is another advantage. And like I said, you don't need to set up this factory. If there are people that already have it, they can do contract manufacturing for you in your brand. In your brand. So that means, each time my client comes to me, they want to expire, I say, look, even if you have money for factory, don't set up factory yet. Do trial. Get someone to produce for you in your brand. Do the shipment out. Let's see the traction. So that when you now want to invest in a factory.
Are you talking about in the form of partnerships or?
No, they want to do it. I'm just supporting them. I train and then consult for them for the process.
Yes.
I'm only saying that they don't necessarily have to invest that money in the factory first. Do contract manufacturing, and then if you now, some people don't even want to have a factory, they just want to be a merchant. So they can have 2-3 people producing for them and they're shipping. Come to think of it, most of our import product, that's exactly how we got it. I mean, I'm sure you heard about white labeling. People produce no label on it. A lot of items being imported, that's exactly so. Some factory just want to produce, they don't care
about
the brand.
Name,
they don't care.
Yes.
They just want to keep the factory going and creating job. And we can do the same thing here. So for people to produce for others, so that, the beauty of that arrangement is, as a small scale manufacturer, you need your cash flow. For you as the merchant, you can afford to wait maybe 2-3 months for your money to come back. But the manufacturer have his money today to continue business. You as an investor who is shipping can wait. So at the end of the day, both of you are happy. She has made her money, she's continuing her business. You are also going to get your proceed afterwards. So that way, everybody's happy. For me, that way, we will be able to channel some of these funds just acquiring little interest in bank to support some of these SMEs to be able to produce for you. And like I said, you can own a brand today. And the interesting thing, there are a lot of big companies today that you see their product. Some of these drink, they don't have, in fact, they're not the one producing it, but you see their name on it. People are producing for them in this country. So it's not a new idea, as it were. It's just for us to begin to think that, look, I can begin to consider this.
So it's about interest.
Yeah. You want another question?
Yeah, I have a question. I know my friend wanted to start exporting crayfish to Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, so once she exports, her sister would help her sell and all of that. It would split the profit, normal. But she was more concerned about, because obviously it is highly capital intensive. There was that, and then she was worried about the exporting process. So what would be your best advice, and how can she go about it?
Now, on exporting process, right?
Exporting process.
Now, to be able to export in Nigeria, you need a limited liability company.
Okay.
And on the memorandum and of association of that company, export must be mentioned as one of the objectives. I will give it to Nigerian Promotion Council. Today, you don't need to know anybody. You can register online, pay online, get your certificate downloaded online. You don't need to talk to anybody. And that can be done within 24 to 48 hours. So with that certificate, it's part of your pre-export documentation. Now, CBN created a portal where you register. Every export from Nigeria must, it's like I'm applying that I want to export.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, CBN also is expecting that the money will come back.
The revenue.
The money must come back. Now, when it comes back, you are allowed to use it for whatever you want to use it for, as long as it's genuine. So, for example, you want to buy something abroad, you want to pay for something, as long as it's legitimate, you are allowed to use it. Or you want to even use it to import, you can use it to import. Now, so immediately I submit that form online, there's an agency that do inspection that will come and check the good I'm shipping, and then give me, when you're exporting, you don't pay duty, export duty.
Oh, I like that.
But you pay a fee, which is 0.5% of the value of the goods plus your profit.
What's
it's called
the
FOB price.
What's that for?
The inspection agent doing the inspection of government, that's what they used to pay them.
0.5%.
Yeah, of the FOB. I told you Nigerian export was 62.5 billion. That's a lot of money. 0.5%.
You mentioned profit, so 0.5 of the what of
the
goods
value
plus
of the goods plus profit. So that means my value of the good is, let's say, 10 naira. Sorry, in dollars. Let's say $10. My profit is $2. That's $12. So value of the goods plus profit. They call it FOB.
So you have to tell them your profits, how much profit you're making from the goods?
No. In the bid to communicate that word FOB, which is a technical term I don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm trying to break it down so everybody can understand. It's called FOB value. I'm just saying the FOB value is the value of your goods plus profit. You're not decreasing your profit.
No.
So now, so you do you pay 0.5% next fee. Then the agency will issue a certificate that will allow custom to clear the good for export. When custom clear the good for export, issue a document again, another document, then the shipping line. All these are done electronically. They're all automated now, so you don't carry document around. It's just for your agent to follow up, to be able to do all that.
So must you have an agent?
Oh, for you to export or import, there is a custom license agent that relates to custom. They can speak their language. They know exactly how to go about the process. So you can't do that. You have to engage them. You pay them for their fees, yes.
Oh, okay.
So you pay the custom agent, you pay for the FOB.
Do you help with the...
No, we actually handle. Yeah.
Okay, you help with the agency.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes, we handle.
Awesome.
So if I want to export, I can come to you as my customs agent, and you help me with the whole process.
Exactly. We actually, yes. The support service around clearing the good for export, yes.
So how long does it take?
That's where whoever you're working with becomes important. If he has a lot of transaction, if you are not putting under pressure, you might bend your transaction. So that's why, but typically, all this process should not take more than 3-4 days, max a week.
Really?
Yes,
But we
it's not
always hear that
automated.
these
No,
things are
the
on the
delay.
high sea.
The delay is in the moving of the truck entering the port, which has reduced now. That's significantly reduced now. And then the shipment when there was congestion. But things are a lot better
Easier
now.
now.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like.
Okay,
as
so I
bad
am
as this.
Joseph from Nasarawa State. How do one overcome challenges with exporting of perishable goods? Oga don't tell you, say, let's focus on.
No. So it's from Nasarawa State. So
yeah.
the best bet is to ship through Abuja Airport.
Okay.
So you use the cargo terminal there, but Nasarawa is very far. Let me paint the picture of vegetable export for you. If someone export vegetable from Lagos, they will have to harvest it as early as 5 a.m. Package, it has to get to the port before sunrise.
Ew.
Wow.
Because when sun begins to rise,
So
that you can get into the cooling system waiting for the plane. So they're not precision involved. So if you are starting, I don't think it's wise to go for perishable. I don't think it's wise. We are starting.
But
Unless
no, this one
No,
it
but
sounds like it's
that's
already
what
there.
he has already. So
oh, that's what he has.
Yes,
Yeah.
he says I am. So he said, how do one overcome the challenges of exporting perishable?
So you have
He's
to
already
work with
exporting.
cold chain. So get a trucks that will keep it in the condition. A refrigerated truck that will move it from Nasarawa to the airport.
Abuja.
To Abuja airport.
So that's his closest point.
Airport, yeah. I'm coming to Lagos will not make sense at all.
So I want to ask, right, with what you just said,
Yes.
how would infrastructure aid exports?
Yes. So that's where government comes in. If government now the rail is getting to the port, and I'm aware some people are moving goods from Ogun State to the port
So let's
by
commend
rail.
the government
By
for
rail.
the rail
So
expansion.
yes. So if rail can work well, it will crash the price significantly.
Yeah.
Because a good chunk of the cost is transport cost.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard people that will tell you that sometimes the cost of moving goods from Lagos to Kano is more than the cost of bringing it from China to Lagos. So when you hear those kind of comments, it's just telling you because of the cost of moving goods within the country. So if the rail system can work, which is what a lot of the countries that really grow trade,
Yeah, that's what
rail
they
work.
use. Yeah.
Because that's what makes them also very competitive. That's why I said add value. If you add value, you have enough. Yes, you have enough margin. When you don't have value, like people doing cocoa, you'll be shocked. Sometimes 5-10% profit. But because they are doing large volume, someone is doing $1 billion worth of cocoa, is making 100 million. 100 million is a lot of money, but it's on $1 billion. So the margin are not so fantastic, but because they are doing large volume, then it becomes reasonable.
So I can imagine if they had converted that 1 billion worth of cocoa to chocolate.
Chocolate, exactly.
That is like 30 billion.
Well, the way you
No, no.
the way she calculated this thing very fast.
Hey, my
All
God.
these head girls.
See, we are going to make money this 2022. And we are going to tap into the opportunities of export. But if you had one thing to say to anybody that is looking into exporting, what would you say to that person?
Be ready before you start.
Okay.
My PhD, I've been in the industry. I was in the bank. I left bank in 2010. So I've been in the industry for since banking maybe 4 years, then outside banking about 11 years, about 15 years. And I realized I saw a lot of challenges. So I decided to do, my thesis was on that challenge. And I found out, I sampled about 120 businesses across the country. About 4 of them were ready.
Oh wow, 120, only 4 was
Four.
ready?
About 66% were almost ready. So a lot of people actually were almost ready. Almost ready means there are challenges that make them to either start and stop. Or that if you look at the export, the number of exporters in Nigeria, both legal and illegal. When I mean illegal, those that do without documentation, probably not up to 2,000 companies. Import is in tens of thousands, but export is not. Now, people are registering to be exporter every year, but not many are able to continue because of lack of readiness. Trade generally is knowledge intensive. So it's like you want to put your money into this, it's good you learn about it. Because when you learn, you can anticipate risk and significantly minimize the risk.
Yeah.
So many people go in, some people like perishables or do some things that if you are starting you shouldn't even consider because the cost is even high. So people lose money and then they are not able to continue.
They're discouraged.
They're discouraged, exactly. They're discouraged. So delays, discrepancies, having losses, they're all, and it's happening not occasionally, like delay happened during COVID. That's not regular. If it's happening regularly, it's a sign of lack of readiness. And that means there's area of incompetence that need to be improved on. If that is done, you can significantly reduce the risk.
So knowledge, you must gain.
It's very important. It's extremely important.
So do you train people?
Yeah, we do training.
On,
We do training.
on like how often do you train people?
So when you're reading my bio, we did a diploma. Now, it's a diploma because it takes actually about 6 months, even though the lecture is once a week. But the material is such that you need to be able to, you can choose not to write the exam if you're doing it for your business, but we recommend you write the exam.
But why don't you compress
The
it?
reason
I think
is,
6 months
no, people can do it within a short time.
Yeah.
The lectures are online, so if they want to finish it early, they can first face. But the issue is, I recommend they write the exam. Now, the reason is so you can read it. Because there are a lot of documentation involved. So it's good you know.
So you want to tell me now that me when I no go school like this, so?
No, you know
I don't
this
have
go.
to
No. Let me explain. I said to read it. I said you don't necessarily have to write the exam, but at least know it. So I just mentioned a term now, FOB. I deliberately did not define it. These are just terms you need to just be familiar with. But the truth is, it's just like you're learning something new now. Over time, you get to know it. It's not rocket science, sincerely. Only that it's good you learn it and then get used to it. Because these are terms you're going to use from time to time. Like the process you talk about, there are different documents involved. And you need to, if you're going to engage an agent, like you have an agent. If I don't know what the agent is doing, I can't follow up. I say, how far? Okay, they have not come for inspection. Who is doing the inspection? What document is it? So, if you don't know, you will just be, they are still 2 days, 3 days. It's just telling you stories because he knows you don't know. But if you know, then you can ask questions. So it's good you know, so you can ask questions and ensure nobody mess up your transaction.
One final thing, because I hear people say, oh, cashew is very sweet. The money is very sweet. Once. Is it that sweet?
No,
and how are we exporting our cashew? Are we processing it?
No, a number of people are processing,
Okay.
but more than 90% of our cashew are exported either raw or
Half cooked.
yes, intermediary product. That's
stage.
kernel. When you remove the shell, now look at cashew nut. The raw cashew nut, the price is about $1,000 plus, maybe 1,000, 1,002, sometimes 800, 900. When you remove the shell, even though you will have lost about 80%. Yes, 80%. So if I have 100 metric tons of cashew nut, if I process, I might be getting about 20 to 25 tons of the kernel.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Now, and I will sell that depending on the size and the quality I can sell that 7, 8, or 9, sometimes $10,000 per metric ton.
So it covers up the loss.
Exactly. You get where I'm going. So you would have created a job because it's labor intensive. Processing cashew is labor intensive. So you'd have created a lot of jobs, and then you're still able to export and generate.
So is it because we don't have the equipment?
No,
that we are losing that 80%.
Look, let me tell you what I think about our country. Like father, like children. The government export commodities. The business
we export only crude.
There's some, when people come into the sector, some people, they don't even have, the only thing they think about is commodity. Because when you think of Nigeria, even when you look at the top exported products in Nigeria, it's commodity you find there. So what people get to know about is commodities, even though there's so much value-added manufacturer who live in Nigeria. But what you get to hear about is commodities.
Are you on Instagram?
Yes, I'm on Instagram.
Okay, so I think what we need to do is we need to educate the public.
Yeah, that was exactly what I told her, that
if we are talking
if
about
we
these things,
educate the public, you're going to see a lot of different people are going to begin to think about it and begin to exploit, and then you see a lot of people spring.
I'm sure they are thinking what I'm thinking.
I'm definitely going into
Hey, I'm sure Jennifer has been calculating.
When he mentioned secondary, tertiary, I'm like, that
tertiary is
yes, we're definitely going to talk after this.
Yes, we'll talk. Thank you so much. But just know that your umbilical cord is tied to waist. We're not going to let you go.
Yeah, so you have to come back just for the public.
Not just once. Again and again and again. Thank you so much. We had a fantastic conversation.
Thank you for having me.
I learned so much today. Okay?
Yeah, so much.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Manny. All right, before we go, be thinking money. Before we go, ensure you follow us on Instagrams at Way Show Africa. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all the conversations online. Invite your friends and family to engage us on social media, like, share, and of course, continue to watch and follow the conversation. If you missed today's quote, here it is again. We've got to start making people realize that it's a proud thing to run a business to export your goods around the country and again around the world, right? We're going to do this. We'll see you guys live again on Monday at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.